Case number 23 TR 939 will run concurrently with the sentences in 23 CR 161 and 23 CR 149. So overall, your controlling sentence is 9 months, which is pretty good, Mr. Fry, considering what you could be looking at. So if you violate your probation, you're going to be serving 9 months in the county jail. In each case, you will be responsible for court costs of $158. You will be responsible in each case for supervision fees of $60. Are you totally unemployed, Mr. Fry, or do you have any income?
Yeah, I'm working.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where do you work?
The Holiday Inn Express on East Greenwich Road.
And remind me how long
Fantastic.
you've been at Holiday Inn Express?
Stayed at Holiday Inn Express
Since
last night.
October when I got out of prison.
Okay. And what are you making per month over there?
It varies. Depends on if it's a slow week or if it's a busy week. Depends on if we got teams come in or not.
Mm-hmm. What would you say on average?
About at least 1,500 a month.
Give me your worst. Okay, give me your worst and your best. What would you say? At worst.
1,200 to 1,500 a month.
Okay, and your
Pretty narrow
best is
range.
about the same?
Yeah, always in between there.
Okay. I'm going to.
I'm getting my wages.
You're getting your wages.
I get my checks garnished because old criminal cases from Buck County. I got like 5 different garnishes going on right now, so they take 25% of my check every check.
Okay. What I understood is that you're being garnished on about 5 of your old Butler County cases, so they're taking up to 25% of your pay.
Yes,
Did I
ma'am.
hear you right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what I'm going to make you do is pay 1 attorney fee and waive attorney fees on the rest. So I'm going to have you pay the attorney fees just because I looked at it first. 23 CR 49, you'll pay attorney fees, but I'll waive them on 161,939. Now, about this jail time. If ever we were to order jail time at sentencing on a traffic matter, you've been declared habitual violator by the state of Kansas, which means you can't have a license for 3 years, and it's your 4th driving while suspended, no insurance. You've got a solid job. I'm pleased that you're doing that. Good for you for keeping employment, but who drives you to work?
My sister does. I work for my sister's my boss.
Okay, great. So, and she can get you there. And are you living with your sister?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Good. Okay, so she's kind of looking out for you.
And Judge, he's living in Wichita is what he's told me. So as a part of this, we'd be asking the court to consider the probation be transferred if they can transfer it to Sedgwick County, so he doesn't have the drive to Butler County.
Okay.
Well, we don't
I
know
have
yet.
no
This is live.
objection to that.
But Mr. Kelly, who's
Make
been
sure
on
your
before,
sister's license is clear too. Make sure
Is it
everybody's
sovereign
license is
Got a
clear.
license.
And
Yes,
that the
it is.
cars are tagged or insured, because I don't want you to get any more trouble.
thank you, Samantha.
All right, very reluctantly, I will go with the recommendation. It was 30 days house arrest with work release. You go just to work, straight home from work. If sister has to stop at the grocery store, she has to take you home first. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Have that ankle monitor on and start your house arrest within 7 days.
Can I go through any house arrest company, or do I have to go through a certain one?
No,
Runsoft Sit Watch.
there's a bunch of them in Wichita. There's one of them in El Dorado.
Not this guy. He's just a,
As long
he's
as
just a
they're
habitual.
recognized by the court.
Okay.
And if you hadn't been doing this honest living for so long, I
But he
wouldn't
did-
have.
He did say the
I
Holiday
would
Inn
have had to
last
do the
night.
jail time, but
I understand.
looks like you've got an honest living but you kind of go through periods of time where it's bing, 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 and then you stay okay for a while. So let's make sure you don't get into another one of those cycles again,
Come on, Virgil.
okay?
I'm hoping not to.
Get it
All
together,
right,
brother.
report to your probation officer as soon as this hearing is over. Their number is 316
316.
322 4153. Okay. And I don't object if they want to transfer it. I'll leave that up to them. They do so much by phone and
Okay.
Zoom that it may not.
Oh, man, I gotta get together.
We need to address on Mr. Fry, Ms. Norris, or Mr. Patterson.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, you may go at this time, Mr. Fry. Call your probation officer.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Patterson,
Stratton Kennedy, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, before we get into that one, I see that Gail just popped back on, and then I know that we have another attorney that I think Mr. Aguirre had a case with, that had gone into a breakout room earlier, that I think they only have one case.
okay. Mr. Jensen, are you back with us?
I was looking for I misunderstood. I checked my cell phone for a text. Robin reminded me, she said chat, and I should click on the bottom of the screen for whatever it was that Amber sent.
Oh, okay.
Check and see what that
You're
was.
just reading your chat now.
Oh, man, I gotta get together.
Go to the bottom of your screen with the arrow,
Yeah,
bottom of the Zoom box, and then at the
Yeah.
bottom it says participants, and then it says chat.
yeah,
Click that.
I
and then
did.
The chat should be on the side.
The side.
Yeah, like when you click it,
Or the bottom.
It
It
says
should-
to
says-
everyone's type message here.
Come on, people. Get it together.
yeah, no,
We're on self-sit
I'll
watch
just
here.
email it to you, Gail.
Okay, that at least I know how to use that.
There you go.
Thank
Right.
you.
All right, thank you. All right, and Ms. Norris, you said there was
He's a
something
charming
else going
fella.
on here.
Your Honor,
Ah,
Yes, Mr. Aguirre.
I believe Ms. Norris may have referred to a couple cases that I've been involved. I think the Perez matter, the court has already taken up. I am still on the Watkins and Bible matters with Patterson. Additionally, I'm showing that I am involved on a case involving the defendant Melvin Collins, 20 TR 0452, which I believe is board to show cause.
Oh, and we have Mr. Canfield that I don't think he's set for trial. I think he's on the other docket.
Your Honor, that's
that's a
Mr.
very
Patterson's
confident.
case.
we get a gratuitous Regier
Okay, Ms. Norris, you said-
appearance.
Canfield is on the trial and he is with Mr. Patterson.
Okay,
And
all
then,
right.
Your Honor, there's an attorney, Michael Page.
He is waiting with Ms. Gillette for the case that we're going to take up at the end of the docket. And Mr. Page,
Okay.
if you have other things you need to do and check back, I hope you're doing them. I hope I'm not monopolizing.
Judge, I've finished my court for the day, so I'm just waiting around for Miss Gillette, but I've got time.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Page. All right, let's see, someone said Stratton Kennedy, is that who you want to take?
That
up
one's
next?
ready, Your Honor.
Where did he go? There he is. Okay, we're on the record in 2022 CR 461, State of Kansas versus Stratton Kennedy. Deputy Caulfield, did you have something?
I'm sorry, I thought you were calling Canfield.
Well, you might get Canfield ready.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Please announce appearances on Kennedy.
Amber Norris for the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appear on behalf of Stratton Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy does appear via Zoom audio visual. Judge, I would announce at this time, Mr. Kennedy is going to plead guilty to interference with a law enforcement officer Class A non-person misdemeanor. State's agreed to dismiss count 2.
And that is your plea agreement, Ms.
That might have been a
Norris?
premature fez.
You're muted, Ms. Norris.
Sorry, Your Honor. Yes, that is my understanding that he would
The condition which is now
be
recognized by the
pleading
DSM.
to count 1, the interference, and the state would be dismissing count 2. And that has been discussed. We have had the input of the victim in this case
Indeed, he is.
prior to making the plea.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, how do you plead to count 1 on or about November 19th, 2022 in Butler County, Kansas, knowingly obstructing, resisting, or opposing any person authorized by law to serve process in the service or execution or in the attempt to serve or execute any writ, warrant, process, or order of a court, or in the discharge of an official duty in the case of a misdemeanor. This charge being interference with law enforcement, a Class A non-person misdemeanor.
Guilty.
And is anyone making you plead guilty?
sounds like
other
me.
than, as a result of this plea agreement, has anyone made any threats or promises?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand you're giving
he
up
is.
your right to a trial as well as your right to appeal conviction?
He's prepping
Yes,
hard.
ma'am.
And in your own words, what did you do on November 19th of 2022 that would make you guilty of interference with law enforcement?
I didn't stay put where the officer asked me to stay.
And what was he doing that he would cause you to have this order to stay put?
He was talking to another person, and I walked away from where he asked me to stay.
Okay, was he by chance investigating this alleged domestic battery in count 2?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was during that investigation he told you to stay put and you didn't?
Correct.
Okay. And where in Butler County did this happen?
In Leon.
Okay, Butler County. All right, I will accept the plea and find you guilty and dismiss count 2, domestic battery. Recommendations for sentencing?
Thanks, Nigel.
Your Honor, recommend 6 months in the county jail, $200 fine. Have the court assess the costs and fees of the action. 6 months reporting probation with all standard conditions. Ask that he have a drug and alcohol assessments and that he follow through on any recommendations. And the victim in the case is not requesting that the no contact remain in place.
Because that is, I believe, a condition of the bond. Mr. Patterson, recommendations?
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last statement by Ms. Norris.
Um,
About the,
The victim is not requesting the no contact stay in place.
that's what I thought. So I just wanted to make sure that I got that right. Okay, Judge, we would ask the court to adopt those recommendations. I would tell the court I'm retaining this case, so no need for the attorney fee issue.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. All right, Mr. Kennedy, at this time for the 1 count of interference of law enforcement officer, you will be sentenced to a suspended controlling term of 6 months in the county jail. You're ordered to pay a $200 fine and court costs of $158 plus $60 supervision fee. You will be granted a 6-month reporting probation. All standard conditions will apply, and they will go over those with you. You are ordered as a special condition of probation to obtain and complete and follow a drug and alcohol evaluation. Schedule that within 7 days and call your probation officer as soon as this hearing is over at 316-322-770. No, that's Mr. Patterson. Don't call there. Well, it's half Mr. Patterson. 316-322-4153. That's
Yes, ma'am.
probation. Anything else, Ms. Norris?
no,
She-
Your Honor, thank you.
She gives out Darren
Anything
Patterson's
further,
number
Mr.
by habit.
Patterson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. We will be in recess. Mr. Kennedy is excused with the provision that he called probation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, shall we take up Mr. Canfield? Are you ready for him, Mr. Patterson?
I am not ready on that case yet, Judge.
Okay, well, strike that. Sorry. Just stay loose, Mr. Patterson or Mr. Canfield. Who else are we ready for?
Brian Silcox.
We are on the record in 2022 CR 234, State of Kansas versus Brian Ray Silcox.
She is clearing the call
Please
before
announce appearances.
the sub shows
Amber
up.
Norris for the state.
She doesn't know how
Your
long.
Honor,
it'll
Darren
take.
Patterson, appear on behalf of Brian Silcox. Mr.
Clears the
Silcox
call to
does
me.
appear via Zoom audio visual. Your Honor, we announce this time pursuant to plea negotiations, the state has agreed to amend a charge to one count of disorderly conduct with a domestic violence tag. To that charge, Mr. Silcox would enter plea of guilty.
And that is your agreement, Ms. Norris?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
Okay, so count one is amended to disorderly conduct. What about count two, criminal damage?
Be
Is that
dismissed, Your Honor.
dismissed? Okay. Mr. Silcox, there you are. Sir, how do you plead to the amended charge of disorderly conduct?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Is anyone making you enter this plea today by any kind of threat or promise other than the plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
And you understand with this plea, you are giving up your right to a trial as well as your right to appeal conviction.
Yes.
Okay, and what did you do on June 25th, 2022 in Butler County, Kansas, that would be disorderly conduct?
Caused a scene outside the gas station in Benton.
What kind of scene did you cause? Did you, for instance, did you do something that would knowingly alarm or anger or disturb others or provoke an assault or breach of the peace?
Just verbal altercations, and law enforcement was called.
Okay. No brawling or fighting?
No.
It was a naughty adventure,
Just using
Judge.
a lot of fighting words or noisy conduct tending to cause these folks around you to be alarmed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And who are you addressing? This Amber Black that's mentioned?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I accept your plea, Mr. Silcox, and find you guilty of the amended charge of disorderly conduct. I just closed the book on
And
that
being too
charge to
reasonable
write
for law
down-
talk with
forgot
Mike
to write
purposes.
down the statutory number. For the docket notes, do either of you by chance have that? Just had it open. 21
One
something.
second, Your Honor.
I bet there were potty
But
words.
I trust you'll be filing an amended
I
information
think that's a
anyway.
strong possibility.
Yes, Your Honor, I will. And it
Okay.
is 216203.
And it's the one with the fighting words 3 or,
Yes, and that's subsection 3.
okay.
So 216203A3.
Okay, so Savannah, did you get that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And count two is dismissed. Recommendations for sentencing.
And Your Honor, we would note that that this case has the DV tag,
Oh, okay.
or this charge has the DV tag.
Let me back up then. This, how are you related to Amber Lynn Black?
We've been in a relationship for almost 9 years, and we have a 3-year-old son together.
Okay. You don't live together or didn't live together at the time?
At the time we did, but we do
Okay.
not anymore.
All right, so there are many ways I can associate the DV tag. That'll need to be added to the amendment because that's count one as I understand it. So recommendations for sentencing?
Your Honor, state would be recommending 30 days in the county jail, 6 months court services probation with all standard conditions, no contact with the victim, costs and fees of the action to be assessed to the defendant, no drugs and alcohol while on probation,
What?
and that he have a domestic violence offender assessment and follow through on any of those recommendations. And leave it to he and his probation officer's discretion regarding whatever that assessment says, or whether or not anger management would be appropriate instead or in addition, however they want to work through it.
Very well. Anything further, Mr. Patterson, before I pronounce sentence?
Judge, I would just ask the court to consider two things, and this is based upon a sentencing that occurred March 8, 2023 in Allen County concerning a domestic violence case with the same victim, that he was placed on probation in that case. The court in that case did allow contact only as it is in regards to the minor child, which my client does and her do have a child together. So we would ask the court to allow the same order so that they can do exchange or whatever they need to do concerning the child's best interests. And in that case also, they ordered the domestic violence offender, and I'm reading paragraph 4 of that order in case number 22 CR 54. The court orders the defendant to have a domestic violence offender assessment as required as a condition of probation. Anger management can be done in lieu of the domestic violence offender assessment. That's what Ms. Norris and I had talked about recommending to this court also to match what he's doing there. Thank you.
So context, can you read the language of the contact again, what they used?
Yes, paragraph 5 in that previous order says the defendant can have contact with the victim in regards to the minor child.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Silcox, your sentence will be 30 days suspended jail sentence, provided you're successful for 6 months on court services probation. With the DV tag, I could order a mandatory must serve 24 hours and $200 fine. In lieu of that, the statute does allow the recommendation that you get a certified domestic violence offender assessment completed by a certified domestic violence offender assessor. There's kind of some long words there, but the bottom line is you have to get a domestic violence assessment by a qualified individual. I want you to schedule that appointment within 7 days. I'm not going to substitute that for anger management. Now, if they tell you to get anger management, you have to get it.
Yes, ma'am.
But to comply with the statutory language and to comply with I think
yes.
what is appropriate is the actual certified.
I can't name the video, but I did one on him.
Schedule that within 7 days. Your 6-month probation includes no alcohol, no drugs, and very, 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 very limited contact with the victim, Amber Lynn Black. Only what is necessary for the peaceful exchange of your child.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm emphasizing only the peaceful exchange. You're not to talk to her about anything else. Say bye-bye and hello, and that's it to the child. And if you want to say to her, fine, but no domestic violence, no unauthorized conversation. Now, you will be responsible for a $60 supervision fee. You will be responsible for $158 court costs. Are you working?
I'm starting a new job this week. I actually go for my drug screen this afternoon.
Starting a new job.
Clean?
Yes.
All right.
Keep your pants on,
I
Valerie.
will waive his attorney fees. Is there anything else at this time we need to address?
We're waiting for
counsel?
Mr. Kelly to get called.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Nothing further, Your Honor, except he does need a phone number to call court services.
Call
Yes, thank
court services 316-322-4153.
And it's just an
Well, then
expression.
now.
You don't really have to keep
I
your
got
pants
it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You are excused.
So that means I won't need to be in person Wednesday and Thursday this week then, correct? This is considered.
That's right. Your trial is off. Yep.
Okay, very well. Thank you.
Trial. Thank you. Are we ready on Alyssa Schooler Hammond by chance?
on. Regier came in and said hi.
Is she here?
I don't know if
Judge, I
he'll be
believe that
back.
case was dismissed.
Or was that dismissed? Ms. Norris, do you know?
Yes,
Savannah?
Your Honor, that's correct. The journal entry should have already been filed.
Okay, I just didn't look at it. All right, how about Stapleton? Is Jason Stapleton here?
Same announcement.
Same announcement.
Okay,
We are ready on Leo Velti.
we are on the record in 2022 CR 485, State of Kansas versus Leo Gage Velte. Or Velte. Please announce appearances.
Amber Norris for the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appear on behalf of Leo Velti. Mr. Velti does appear via Zoom audio visual. Your Honor, after
Surely.
much discussion, this is a case that rather than going to trial, does appear to be appropriate for diversion
Thank you.
process. Kind of late in the game, but I think it is something in this case that would be beneficial to Mr. Velti. So we would ask the court to remove it from the trial docket. He's going to immediately apply for diversion, and we should have it completed on diversion before the next control date.
Any objection, Ms. Norris?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Velte, I am going to put your case back on the docket for status control September 11th at 8 a.m. Now, if you do everything you're supposed to get your diversion, you won't have to be here. But
We
unless
haven't called them
Mr.
yet.
Patterson tells you otherwise, you must reappear by Zoom September 11th at 8 a.m.
I understand.
All right, there's nothing further. Mr. Velte is excused.
Mr. Velti, look for that email later
not.
today.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
How about if we take up Mr. Watkins?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the record in 2023 TR 412, State of Kansas versus Jimmy Joe Watkins. Please announce appearances.
Jimmy Joe.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appearing on behalf of Jimmy Joe Watkins, who does appear via
Yeah,
Zoom
We
audio
got a Jimmy
visual.
Joe.
Judge, I would announce at this time,
And a
Mr. Watkins is going to enter a plea of guilty to the sole charge of driving while suspended, Class A non-person misdemeanor.
And Mr. Regier, I didn't hear you very clearly, but you are appearing for the state. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
I wonder if he knows
Mr.
Jimmy
Watkins,
Jack
how do you
Daniels.
plead to driving while suspended after a second or subsequent event?
Guilty, ma'am.
And is anyone making you enter this plea of guilty today by any kind of threats or promises?
No, ma'am.
You understand with this plea, you are giving up your right to a trial, including the right to that jury trial we have scheduled.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the state is alleging that on or about the 15th day of December 2022 in Butler County, Kansas, you did then and there unlawfully operate a motor vehicle upon a highway of this state whilst your privilege to drive a motor vehicle is canceled, suspended, or revoked after you had been previously convicted of driving while suspended on the 25th day of January 2021 in Butler County District Court, case number 20 TR 2688. This charge being driving while license is suspended or canceled, a Class A non-person misdemeanor. Is that what you're admitting to, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Pleading guilty, all right. And did you do the facts alleged in this case?
Yes,
In the
ma'am.
charge I just read, you drove, your license was suspended, you had a prior conviction.
Yes, ma'am.
And where were you stopped for this violation?
Right outside of Augusta on Dyke Road.
Okay. That puts you in Butler County. Recommendations, I find you guilty. Recommendations, Mr. Regier?
Yes, Your Honor, pursuant to plea, the state would recommend a $100 fine, $108 in court costs. I believe Mr. Patterson may be retained on this, appointed, Your Honor, forgive me, so I'll defer to the court on the issue of attorney's fees. State would further recommend a 6 months underlying sentence with 10 days house arrest in lieu of the 5 days statutory imprisonment, as well as 12 months of non-reporting probation, also pursuant to plea.
Mr. Patterson, anything further?
And his choice
Yes,
would be
sir,
the firing
adopt
squad
recommendation,
or
Judge.
lethal injection.
Mr. Watkins, are you employed?
No, ma'am. Disabled.
Okay. At this time, sir, you're sentenced to 6 months suspended jail time and $100 in fines plus 108 in court costs. Attorney fees are waived. All standard conditions of probation, such as don't violate the law. I'll just give you a couple. I'm not gonna make all standard, but number one, don't violate any law. Number two, complete house arrest of 10 days. I want you signed up with electronic monitoring in 7 days. Now, since you don't work, you're not to leave the house during those 7 days for any purpose. If you need food, all that stuff, be sure and get it before the 7 days starts, because you're going to jail for 10 days. You just have the comforts of your home. Don't be doing alcohol or drugs. Don't be bringing people in to party. You're in jail. Treat it like jail for 10 days. And if I find out you're doing otherwise, you can end up serving 6 months in jail. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the last condition is how long is it going to take you to pay the 208? I can give you some time if you need it.
Yeah, a couple months here at the most.
60 days?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Your total due of 208 is to be paid within 60 days. That'd be August 12th for the close of business. If you don't have it paid, you can end up getting your license further suspended, making more problems, making future jail time a lot longer. And you can get a civil collection agent coming after you, hounding you, whatever it is they do. And you could end up getting your jail sentence revoked and serving the 6 months. So do you have any questions about what's expected of you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Anything further, Mr. Patterson or Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, is the court ordering the 12 months of non-reporting probation?
Oh,
In
I
addition-
thought I heard 6 months.
The recommendation from the state pursuant to plea was a 6 months underlying sentence and 12 months
Okay.
of non-probation. Your
All
Honor.
right, 12 months non-reporting probation, but all conditions apply otherwise, Mr. Watkins. So you can't get into any trouble with the law for 12 months.
Okay.
You have to start your house arrest within 7 days, and you have to pay in 60 days.
Okay.
And Judge, I would like to give him a phone number. Make sure and write this phone number down, 322-0021. That is house arrest. Make sure and call them and get signed up.
Yes, ma'am. Or yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right, we'll be in recess. Mr. Watkins is excused.
Judge, we also have Arlen Bible for plea.
Let's take up Arlen Bible on the record.
Patterson doesn't want to get
2022
behind Greg Kelly either. He's no dummy.
03, State of Kansas versus Arlen B. Bible. Please
Thank
announce
you.
appearances.
Jared Regier on behalf of the state.
Darren Patterson here on behalf of Arlen Bible, Your Honor, who does appear via Zoom audio and visual. Your Honor, pursuant to plea negotiation, the state has agreed to dismiss count 2, reckless driving. Mr. Bible is going to enter plea of guilty to exhibition of speed pursuant to 8-1565.
He left the building.
And Mr. Bible, I think we've lost him, Judge. I need to wait for him to come back in. I thought his phone is kind of giving us a little problem there.
That charge is still on the books, 8-1565. Okay.
Yes.
That's a bad drop right now.
All right, while we're waiting on Mr. Bible, anyone else that we need to take up? Mr. Beeson, do we have?
Judge, I do need a breakout room with Miss Norris on Canfield if there's something else court had.
All right, go ahead. Ms. Norris, can you go in a breakout room with Mr. Patterson?
And Your Honor, to respectfully refresh the court's memory, I am here on the Melvin Collins matter.
Yes, okay. And Mr. Bible came back just as they got here. Mr. Bible, when they come back, we're gonna take up your case.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. We lost you for a bit, but you're back. All right,
Okay.
let's see. Miss Gillette, are you back with us yet? Is she still in court missing? Let's see. Mr. Collins, are you here? Melvin Collins? On the record in 2020, TR 452, State of Kansas versus Melvin Oscar Collins Jr. Jared Regier, Assistant Butler County Attorney for the state. Mr. Collins does not appear, this being a pay or appear hearing. Looks like.
And Your Honor, if I may.
Mhm.
My understanding is that a request for revocation was actually filed with the court back in June, containing certain allegations, and that is my understanding of the purpose of today's hearing. Looks like that was served more recently, or rather, there is a return indicating an arrest as of March 31st of 2023, followed by an own recognizance bond for today's date and time, June 12th, 9 a.m., and that appears to be for 500 OR.
And then he didn't show up?
I am not showing the defendant in the Zoom conference, Your Honor. Unless the court may know something I do not know.
Let's see, what is warrant to show cause? Okay, he failed to report as directed. He failed to pay his fines and costs with a minimum monthly payment of $50. Recommendations, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, in light of the appearance bond previously executed in this case, it would recommend bond forfeiture bench warrant 1,000 cash or surety.
Okay. And you do want to pursue the, okay. Bond forfeiture, bench warrant, 1,000 cash or surety required.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Patterson?
Judge, I would need a breakout room with Sallyport 2 for Mr. Canfield.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gillette, are you back? Missy, is she still in court?
Judge, yes, she is. I believe she's in a preliminary hearing right now.
Okay. Is that the, who else do we have on here? We have Arlen Bible, but we don't have the attorney for that.
She's like, anybody else? Anybody but this case.
Is Jose De Jesus Garcia Galarza here? Did he check in?
That case was dismissed.
That was dismissed.
I think she doesn't have the attorneys. I'm not
Shelley
sure.
Melinda Watts.
Is it?
Also dismissed.
She needs Jill Gillette, I think, honestly. I'm not sure.
All right, so for Butler County, Savannah, that leaves us with Bible, Canfield,
I believe those are the only two we have left.
Okay, thank you. And then for Greenwood County, Missy, I believe that leaves us with Kelly and Johnson.
That's correct.
All right. Let me know as soon as Ms. Gillette's free. Missy, do you know, is Judge Hart starting a jury trial in Greenwood tomorrow? Or today? Let's see. Is he-
Right, see, I'm going to use Miss Fowler's word. She now is in a throuple. And not only does she choose to be in a throuple, and she's shacked up in the bed with the throuple. Now, if anybody thinks this is okay, I am in the wrong world.
Gratuitous thruple playing.
And that's certain, right? Missy?
Yes, it
As
announced,
certain as one can be. I should say.
yes,
You did announce, okay. And do you know which case it is?
yes, I do.
So
Can
it's
you tell
not
me,
sit in the
please?
Bible, walk into a
It's the
Zoom.
Rick Wallace cases.
Oh, yes, yes. You told me that Friday. Okay. All right, Mr. Patterson, are we ready on Canfield?
We are, Your Honor.
Morning, Mr. Canfield.
Morning, Your Honor.
We are on the record in 2022 CR 457, State of Kansas versus Michael James Canfield. Please announce appearances.
Amber Norris for the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appear on behalf of Michael Canfield, who does appear from the courthouse Sallyport. Your Honor, pursuant to plea negotiations, I would announce this time Mr. Canfield is going to enter a plea of no contest to criminal damage to property.
And count two will be dismissed.
Yes, Judge.
And that's your agreement, Ms. Norris?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
And that's your agreement, Mr. Canfield?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then how do you plead to count one, criminal damage to property?
No contest, Your Honor.
Is anyone making you enter this plea today by any kind of threat or promise other than your plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand if I accept the plea, you will have waived your right to trial as well as your right to appeal conviction? I'm sorry, you just muted. Deputy? Okay, my question again was, do you understand if I accept your no contest plea, you will have given up your right to trial as well as your right to appeal conviction?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Ms. Norris, you have a factual basis to support this plea in count one?
Yes, Your Honor, on November 18, 2022, at 10865 Southwest River Valley Road, Augusta, Butler County, Kansas, the law enforcement was called out to report of damage. The defendant did go to, that's Miss Ann Loader's residence. Defendant did go there and did knock on her door. She did not answer her door. He seemed to get upset about that and then did start kicking her vehicle that was parked in the driveway at her house. She did call law enforcement, and Mr. Canfield was, I believe, was still present when he was still present when law enforcement did show up, and she did not give him permission to do damage to her vehicle.
And were there like some dents or how did he damage it?
That's my understanding, Your Honor, that there was from the kicking.
Okay. I accept the no contest plea and the factual basis in support of it, finding the defendant guilty. Recommendations for sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor. State would recommend 120 days in jail no fine, costs and fees to be assessed. The court will need to address court-appointed counsel, and that he be placed on 12 months court services probation with all standard conditions. There is no request for restitution, and we would ask that court services have discretion over contact with the victim and her property.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Patterson?
Would ask court to adopt the
Oh,
recommendation. Your
stop
Honor.
it. He's been here.
Mr. Canfield, your sentence will be 120 days suspended jail time. No fines, but $158 in court costs and $60 supervision fee. Are you working at this time, Mr. Canfield?
No, I'm under doctor's orders for a C456 pinched nerve, and I'm getting epidural shots and physical therapy.
Okay, so I'll waive your attorney fees. Your probation will be for 12 months reporting, and all standard conditions will apply. You just as well walk over there as quickly as you can before they close for noon, since you're in the same building. If not, you can call them at 316-322-4153. They will have discretion on the contact between you and Miss Ann Loader. And I think that concludes it with all standard conditions. Ms. Norris, was there anything else?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Mr. Patterson?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
May I add something?
Yes, Mr. Canfield.
Ms. Norris said that I was arrested at the residence, I believe. Is that right?
I think she
was-
said, I
I'm-
think she said they were at the resident. You were,
I know where he's going with this. The report actually indicates that he was not at the residence, but they then drove to a business and found him there afterwards.
okay, all right. But it doesn't change how you plead, does it, Mr. Canfield?
No, I just wanted to add that maybe to the record because it wasn't factual.
All right, well, we
Wasn't
appreciate,
factual, but I appreciate it.
well, we appreciate you making sure the record is clear on that, but it doesn't change anything I think that we've done. So thank you, sir. You are
Did it, right?
excused. Go to court services, please. And now we'll take up Arlen Bible on the record in 2022 TR 3103. Again, that's State of Kansas versus Arlen B. Bible. Please announce appearances.
Jared Regier on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appear on behalf of Mr. Bible. Mr. Bible does appear via Zoom audio visual. Your Honor, again, would announce this time, state has agreed to dismiss count 2. Mr. Bible would enter plea of guilty to exhibition of speed, count 1.
All right, Mr. Regia, that's your agreement?
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
Mr. Bible, how then do you plead to count 1 on or about the 18th day of November, 2022 in Butler County, Kansas?
Thank you, Leslie.
Unlawfully and knowingly damaging, destroying, defacing, or substantially impairing the use of property.
Judge, this is Mr. Bible, exhibition of speed.
I hadn't switched my screen. Thank you. All right, let's try that again, but you still wish to plead guilty to count 1, whatever it is, right? Okay, count 1 being, let's try this again.
Oh, we got the
On or
18.
about the 9th day of August, 2022
Regier.
in Butler County, Kansas.
Patterson, Gillette.
Unlawfully driving a motor vehicle
Got
on
one
the
of the Stellarport
highway in
boys.
such a manner to include an exhibition of speed
Straight
or
Bible.
acceleration of speed.
Life is good in Kansas.
That's the charge he's pleading to, Mr. Patterson,
Yes, Your Honor.
8-1565. How do you plead to that, sir?
Guilty.
All right, and if I haven't, forgive me if I've asked this, did anyone make you plead to this?
Nope.
Okay, and you know you're giving up your right to a trial and your right to appeal conviction?
Yes.
Okay, and in your own words, what'd you do that makes you guilty of this?
I just left a men's prayer group and was upset, and I was homeless at the time and unemployed. I lost my job, and I just wasn't just really upset. So I just, personal problems.
Okay, but what did you actually do that makes you guilty of exhibition of speed?
Just driving my car too fast and passing vehicles.
Yeah, that's what we were looking
So
for.
you just really trumped on the accelerator and
Yes, ma'am.
zoomed out of there. Okay, all right. I'll accept your plea and find you guilty. Recommendations for sentencing, Mr. Regier?
Yes, Your Honor. Besides the fact that this, in going through the report, it looks like the stop occurred on Andover Road within the confines of Butler County, beginning in the 200 block of North Andover Road.
Oh,
The state would recommend pursuant to plea for count 1, a $200 fine, $108 in court costs, a 30-day underlying sentence, as well as 6 months of non-reporting probation.
Mr. Patterson?
Your Honor, we'd ask court to adopt the recommendations. I am appointed.
For the new
court may
people.
Take up that issue. I believe that my client is disabled or not.
We're on
working.
soft sit watch here.
Mr. Bible, is that right? You're disabled or unable to work right now?
Correct. I'm drawing Social Security.
All right. At this time, you'll be fined $200 and assessed $108 in court costs. I will waive attorney fees. I'll give you a controlling 30-day sentence, but you won't have to serve that, Mr. Bible. If for 6 months you violate no more laws of any kind, and that you pay the $308, you need some time to pay that.
Yes, ma'am.
90 days. You need more than that.
A little bit more if I can.
I'm gonna give you 120 days, but I want you to pay as you go. Don't just let it stack up. If you don't
Yes,
pay
ma'am.
that, you're gonna have a collection agent after you. Your driver's license is gonna be suspended, and you could end up serving 30 days in jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so do you want to pay in person or online or mail in a check?
I'll just mail it in, mail in a money order.
All right, see, so you'll want to mail your payment to the Butler County District Court Clerk. Make sure you put District Court Clerk in there. And they are at 201 West Pine, P-I-N-E, like the Pine Tree Street. They're at Suite 101, and that's El Dorado, 67042. And make sure you put your name, your phone number, and your case number on your check. So you can get credit for
Okay,
your
what's that?
stop.
What's my case number? Your
It
Honor?
is BU for Butler, -2022 for the year, -TR for traffic, -3103.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Anything further, counsel?
Nothing from the state's perspective, Your
All
Honor.
right, we will be in recess on Bible. Is there anybody else on the docket for Butler County, Savannah?
I don't think so, Your Honor. I think we covered everyone.
Okay, so that leaves us so far with Gail Jensen's case, State v. Payne, and Amber Norris, Amber Norris's case, State v. Payne. As well.
Judge, there's been a development, but if you want to release Darren and Jared and anybody,
Have
that's.
a good day, Judge.
Right, thank you. You are excused. Thank you for helping move this docket. All right, let me check with Miss Norris. Do you want me to do that, or do you want to announce your announcement, Miss Norris? Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Your Honor, I did visit with Mr. Jensen after, well, since he got off the meeting. And we have come to an agreement. And this case will no longer need to be heard at 4 p.m. for the motion in limine. And we will no longer be for trial on Wednesday.
All right, do we need to put it back on a control docket?
No, Your Honor, we'll be able to take care of it this week.
right.
But Mr. Jensen said it was not necessary that he be on when I informed the court. And all requisite documents should be filed in the next day or so.
All right, so the Payne case is off the docket. No jury trials in Butler County tomorrow. Thank you, Miss Norris. You are excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. And Sally Port too, you're welcome to stay and hear what goes on in Greenwood County, but you're also welcome to leave, whichever you prefer. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your help. And Clerk Savannah, let's see, does she need to stay, Missy? Can she go?
I think I need to stay just for the Zoom, but that's totally fine.
All right, well, let's move on then. We're going to go back. Ms. Gillette, thank you for rejoining us. Mr. Page, thank you for staying with us so long. Ms. Gillette, let's go on the record in Kelly again.
Let's do it.
We are on the record in 2022 CR 133, State of Kansas versus Gregory Brian Kelly. Please announce appearances.
I'm here, Judge.
All right, Gregory Kelly appearing in person and pro se. Ms. Jill Gillette, County Attorney, are you here? I lost Ms. Gillette.
Oh man, nothing more
Ms.
awkward
Gillette?
than having to make small talk with a
Gillette.
soft sit.
Missy, I wanted to take up, Mr. Page, are we able to take up your plea today if I go off record or off of?
Yes, yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. Before I take up your case, Mr. Page, Ms. Gillette is on the record with us in 2022 CR 133, State of Kansas versus Gregory Brian Kelly. Mr. Kelly's case is now the prime for Wednesday, but the dilemma now is that Judge Hart has a Greenwood County case announced for prime also. So I suppose that puts us as an alternate maybe to whatever he has. Ms. Gillette, what do you have in front of Judge Hart this
Oh
week?
man, we're just gonna get a
Currently,
continuance.
it is scheduled for an aggravated domestic battery case with multiple other charges that have been, that are between the two cases consolidated for trial. The other one is violation of a PFO. That is also scheduled to possibly start Wednesday. This case is a backup to that case. So if you want us to appear in case the other case works out, I was going to call Nika Cummings and confirm today on everything with that. So.
All right.
But Egbert will probably plead.
Well, Mr. Kelly, it sounds like there's a possibility your jury trial may go Wednesday. So you'll need to be prepared and at the Greenwood County Courthouse between 8:30 and no later than 8:45 Wednesday. Judge Hart and Ms. Gillette will be in the jury trial in front of you, but if for some reason that would resolve itself in plea, as they often do, or some other disposition, the jury will be ready and waiting. So are you quite certain that you want to represent yourself in front of a jury on Wednesday?
Yeah, I am, Judge. Also, if I might add, there has been some new evidence in this case that has came about, and I am in the process of checking into that. And basically, I'm accusing the prosecution of filing a fictitious charging document. And I don't know where we're going to go with that.
Snuck some crazy in.
I have hired a forensic handwriting specialist. At the moment, he's supposed to be acquiring handwriting samples, and I'm not sure how this case can go forward until we get this matter figured out.
Well, it's set for Wednesday.
Okay, first of all, what?
He's got a handwriting expert.
What are you talking about?
Okay. The Secretary of State has confirmed that the notary's signature that is on the charging document is not on their file. In other words, it is a
look at Jill Gillette.
Somebody forged the notary's signature, declaring the prosecutor's oath.
You could say that again. The Secretary of State,
Secretary of
the state of
State.
Kansas,
Come again?
says that whoever signed that document was not a legal notary in the state of Kansas.
Correct.
So you're making the argument in your criminal case that Miss Gillette did not file a legal petition, a legal verified petition or notarized petition.
Yeah, it's time.
I'm
I
saying
think you
fraudulent.
Well,
At this point, I am challenging the prosecutor's jurisdiction. I feel she has no standing due to the fact, knowingly or unknowingly, she filed a federal document that was falsified.
first of all, she did not file a federal document. We're not in federal court. We are in Greenwood County District Court. Second of all, she is the legally elected authorized prosecutor for Greenwood County. And and she did sign the complaint and information filed against you.
Which
I don't believe she did. I think
Let
that
me call it up. I've seen her. I'm not designated with credentials as an expert handwriting analyst, but I will tell you, I've seen this woman's signature so many times in the last several years. Let me pull up that document and look at it.
Yeah. Judge, if I may, this would be,
Let me look at your signature.
this
Yeah,
is actual original with the original ink on it. That's Miss Arlene's signature in blue ink. This is my signature in black ink. I can attest that is my signature. I definitely know that's Arlene's signature, and Arlene signed it in my offices. So I know that that's her actual signature and it's not forged. And then in addition to that, this is the state of Kansas Secretary of State's notary search I've completed today. Arlene C. Edwards is a bona fide notary. There's her expiration date.
she is registered. Yes.
August 30th of 24, and she was commissioned August 30th of 2020. There's her commission number. She is a bona fide notary.
So
It's
take that,
our
Greg.
actual signatures.
Judge, she is in fact registered with the Secretary of State in Kansas. So therefore, if she is registered, her signature is on file. And I have a letter saying from the Secretary of State that says that the signature presented on that document is not on their file, not in their file. So therefore, it only
It
stands
doesn't
to
need to be.
reason that it is someone else's signature.
okay. I have seen Arlene Edwards' signatures.
You can have her log in. She'll testify that's her signature. I mean,
No, I know Miss Edwards and Miss Gillette's signatures. Again, with the untrained eye, but having seen them every day on multiple documents for several years. Miss Edwards, in fact, even more than Miss Gillette's, because she was authorizing signatures for Mr. Lee, the predecessor to Miss Gillette. Who did you talk to in the office? Is this someone you can have come down as a witness?
I sent in a form that you're required for authentication and apostles, and that they responded to that form that I sent in.
Okay, well, I don't know that you've actually formally filed a motion, but nothing you've said convinces me that legal grounds would disqualify this case from going further to trial or disqualify Ms. Gillette from prosecuting it.
Show up on Wednesday.
Now, if you want to bring down a witness and present them, you can do so, but what bearing would that have? The issues for the jury, Mr. Kelly, will be count one. Did you on or about the 10th day of August, 2022 in Greenwood County, Kansas, unlawfully and intentionally possess an hallucinogenic drug, to wit THC and or marijuana, after having a prior conviction for the same in Labette? Is that Labette County or Labette, Colorado? That's Labette County?
Yes, Kansas.
Okay. And then in count two, and that the jury's going to have to decide if the state can present the elements of that. And then they're going to have to decide the elements of unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia in count two. The state's alleging that on or about the 10th day of August, 2022 in Greenwood County, Kansas, You did unlawfully and intentionally possess drug paraphernalia, specifically marijuana roaches, which I understand are tobacco, marijuana, tobacco, and rolling papers. So it'd be the rolling papers for the purpose of either storing, containing, concealing, ingesting, inhaling, or otherwise introducing a controlled substance into the human body. So those in counts 1 and 2. Then you've got count 3, whether you were operating with insurance on your vehicle and whether you had a valid tag. Those are the charges. Those are the things that you would have to be, if you wanted to present a defense, you'd have to be answering to. But I don't know whether.
I feel as though if in fact the charging document was falsified, then therefore she would have no standing in this matter.
Okay.
Would it not at the very least be a conflict of interest, Judge?
I am finding that there is no conflict of interest. I'm finding that it is a valid document and that we will proceed. So
Come on, Judge, give me a conflict of interest.
You can reserve your right to appeal my decisions. You're welcome to do that. And I will note that you have made those objections to proceeding. But
if I in fact can prove that it is a falsified document, would that not be, would she lose her standing at that point? I mean, I understand you're saying you don't believe it is falsified, but I'm asking if it was.
We're going to proceed on the charges. If you prevail, that's that. If Ms. Gillette prevails on the charges, you can file whatever grounds you feel are appropriate for appeal and take those up with the Kansas Court of Appeals, sir.
Okay.
All right. So that being said, you'll be ready for trial on the merits tomorrow if we proceed?
Are you asking me if I am?
I'm asking if you're prepared, yes.
I don't feel that I am, because I feel that I need to further investigate my alleged accusation against the prosecutor's office.
Okay, your position is noted and I've overruled it and we're going to proceed then. So be here Wednesday at no later than 8:45, ready for jury trial.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You may go, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Missy, I think if we go off YouTube for this last hearing, I think folks would like.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. We waited that whole time. I was afraid that they were just going to say, okay, you're set for Wednesday. And he'd say, okay. But no, he did not disappoint. He came through with his crappy theory that Jill Gillette didn't sign the charging instrument. Of course, she signed the charging instrument. She showed it to him with her nice little manicured fingy. It was a thing of beauty. Watching her lose her mind to that argument was fantastic. It was top notch. It really was. Let's have a round for Jill Gillette and her nice manicure. If that trial, there's a trial in front of it, so it may not go if the other trial goes, or he may plead, which would make sense, but he's a subset, so that thing might go. The testimony is going to be like, you call an officer and say, hey, I observed this guy, smoking pot, or he did something stupid and I found it on him or something like that. And that'll be that. He'll deny it. They'll say they took it, ran to the lab, tested it, it's marijuana, and he'll be convicted. Simple as that. All right. Well, thank you all for coming out. I just gotten out of a deposition. That is from Rhonda Sue out in Kansas, who sent that to me. I was going to record it. I'm glad I just went live with it because it took so much longer, but it turned into a fun hangout. But we were not disappointed in the end We got the full soft sit making crazy arguments, and we even got a dispute on jurisdiction. Oh, good stuff. Thank y'all for coming out. I'll see you soon.